So how many meters do we have on the school then? Cause it's per meter, right? The $70?
I'm assuming it's per meter and I didn't,
It's 3 meters at the school that I know of.
So we would pay 3
Seven-
times of 70.
$70, yeah.
Okay.
But that's even on like the vacant lots that just have nothing on there that they don't even pay nothing but like the base rate, they still have to pay that other $70 as well.
Yeah.
How about the apartments beside me? Each apartment pays?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm just asking.
Yep, yep.
Okay.
so, I think it's legitimate we do this and we go with a 60 days from, or let's say you can probably do this letter by the end of the week, right? Or the next week, I'm saying. In the next week possibly, if you created this letter?
Oh, I could get it done,
But
and
let's-
send it out with water bills
Okay,
and just send them out on Tuesday, then I'll have that.
so if you
Like, get it
did it
all
on
sent out.
Tuesday and we did a timeline of, I'm just looking here. Deadline is May 1st.
So on
Does that, you guys give me your input.
I guess on this, is this something that, do we run it, I mean, we're pushing that right up against the next meeting, and do we hammer down and advertise a little bit more to see if we can scrape a little bit more off the bottom since we're so close? Have her start preparing the document, she doesn't have to hammer down the number quite yet. The document can be prepped and we just add the number by the time we've received all funds.
My deal that's scaring me
Mhm.
is by June or July, we're looking at addressing rate increases.
Right, it'll be.
And I really don't wanna hit them twice.
Right.
It'd be easier to hit them up once
Mm-hmm.
on this deal than hit them twice, and you're going to have, I mean, it'd really make some people angry, but,
The other thing is you have renters, and some of us renters don't pay our water bills because per town ordinance, your landlord is to pay it. So if I go over my water, my landlord tells me and I have to pay extra for my rent. So I'd rather you get the notice out so he has proper notice and can decide whether he's gonna charge me extra for the next 12 months or not.
Yes. Does the council agree with shooting for a deadline of May, or did you say
May-
April 1st?
May 1st.
May 1st.
I mean, does that,
I think we need to get it done as quick as possible.
yeah,
And my recommendation to you guys, when you do a letter, make sure the mayor, if he's back, or the acting mayor, looks through it, cause anytime we construct a letter at the school, and our attorney has told us that it needs to come to the chairman or chairwoman, and so I read through it, and typically my clerk will read through it for me, and my superintendent. Typically, it's either Jennifer doing one, or Brandy, the clerk, or me doing one, and we have to read through it.
And I can just email it out to all of you so you guys can read it over and then
Yes.
also send it to the attorney to make sure that
Yep.
it's.
and Bob's phone number needs to be put on
Yep.
here, cause it's
$70.84.
$70.84.
Okay.
So we need to put that to vote, or?
I move to go approve the letter and for a bill of $70.84 with the, due date of April 1st, May 1st, sorry, thank you. My CRS moment.
Alright, we have a motion on the floor to approve it for May 1st, shooting at $70.20, 84 cents. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Next up would be Chad with Great West on the update of the project.
Good evening, guys. I think I know most of you, but I'm Chad Hanson with Great West Engineering out of Billings. We've been working with the town for quite a while on, started as a water project to get a redundant line bored under the highway and the railroad tracks, address some deteriorating line in Mine Spur Loop, and some valves over the tank that don't work anymore. but it was discovered that the main transmission main that carries all the sewage from, gotta get oriented, the west side of the tracks over to the lagoons is in really bad condition. Running under the tracks, it needs to be replaced because you guys are living on borrowed time. And so we added that to the design. We had, for the water project, got some ARPA grants and money. The competitive grant money has to stay on the water project, but they allowed you to move your minimum allocation grant and your LFR, your local fiscal recovery, the direct allocation to the sewer project. But to balance that, you're still looking at taking out SRF loans for both projects. We were going along and then we got stuck on paperwork with your, what is it, Hardy, the UEI number?
Yep, Sam's the UI.
Which a lot of communities and counties and conservation districts got no notice it was changing. It's been a nightmare to get it renewed. It took us almost 8 months. So, but that's done. We're back on track. We have approval from DEQ. So, we have the project out to bid right now. And with a bid opening scheduled for April 3rd. And so we will be able to get actual costs on those schedules of the project. Then I'll come to your April 8th, I think off the top of my head, meeting.
Yep.
With the bid results, recommendations, show you tentative if you award. We broke the water into 4 schedules, so you can award as much as, or as little as you want. What it would potentially do to the enterprise funds, the loan that would be required, the potential rate increase. And then the council and the town will have to decide how much you guys wanna award, move forward with. Then we'd work with the bond council, who you guys have on board, Nate, to finalize the SRF loans, and if there is a resultant rate increase, we'd have to do that all at once, so we can award the project. Get that all in place, and then hopefully midsummer, July or August, we're digging dirt, if things fall in place. That would be real brief, and I could get, if you have questions, more detailed on the schedule, but that's what we're looking at right now. Trying to think what else I missed there. So, what questions do you have for me?
You said I replaced a pipe, right?
Mm-hmm.
How many feet, you know,
Mm-hmm.
roughly?
All of it, or which section?
Yeah, the whole thing.
Let me give you a real quick story. So schedule 1 is the water, drilling a new water from, is it Carbon to A Street? I know it's A Street on the east, is that right, Mike?
Yeah.
Carbon to A. This goes way back to Mike, was back in the day when we did the first PR. That's about 580 feet. And under the highway and the railroad, we have to bore in a steel casing and then slide pipe through it. That's the only way the railroad will let us do it. And the highway also prefers it, and since it's a straight shot and they butt each other, we'll be boring under the highway and the railroad for both crossings, 18-inch steel casing and then sliding 8-inch pipe through it. The, which is about 340 of that 580 feet is the jack and bore. Schedule 2 is the sewer main. It's about 220 feet of the jack and bore, but total it's 990 feet from just this side of the highway all the way down to the lift station at the lagoons. So it's about 1,000 feet of sewer main.
All that
And
pipe
then
goes.
the schedule 3, and I always say it wrong. Is it
Mindspur.
Mindspur. I always want to say Mindspur. Mindspur loop. It's about 1,000 feet of new water main. And then schedule 4 would be another 300 feet that would loop it back around to, help me out, Mike, what is the one that it loops back around to?
That's Waffler.
Middle of the way, or, well, yeah. We're gonna go down to
Wobbler?
Wobbler.
Yeah, it comes,
Waffler.
yeah, Waffler is the gravel road that runs back
Right.
behind there.
And then we have an additive alternate to replace the valves up at the tank vault that didn't work when you needed to isolate the tank. And that we can add on if we give you a price. So it loops back to Missouri Avenue. It would just get rid of that dead end there. Is schedule 4. So that's That's the project in a nutshell.
So that's following the existing pipeline? Or you're gonna
The water
differentiate?
main from Carbon to A Street over here would be a second crossing, and it's new pipe. The
Okay.
rest of it is all replacing old pipe. Like we said, when they, which public works director, I'm losing my mind, Jay. Jay tried to replace the culvert down here that drains the slough on Harley's Place. And when he dug it up, he exposed the sewer main, and it's old metal, and he could poke his finger through it. It's not in good shape.
And that
So-
it
On your
controls
land?
everything.
Yeah.
Oh, you
So-
can pay for it.
So we patched that, we buried it, we started designing, he tried to video it, it's in terrible shape, we can't even get the camera all the way through. So we need to replace it. The line on Mine Spur Loop is 4-inch cast iron that they've fixed, I think, in the last 3 years, 6 leaks. Mike fixed some, Jay fixed some.
I think everybody's had a hand in that.
Yeah, and so we'd replace it with a new 8-inch main and then bring it around to Missouri if we have enough funds.
Could you estimate what the life expectancy is of this new pipe you're putting in?
They say, they claim it's 50 years, but I don't know what would wear out of PVC pipe unless you got
You're
hitters.
using C900, right?
C900 PVC pipe, I mean, it's super thick, heavy plastic,
Yeah.
you can drive equipment over it. And I don't know, I would say it's a 100-year pipe, but
Is there any fire hydrants on that line?
yes,
On Mine Spur?
yes.
Okay, that there alone will go against your codes. You can't have a 4-inch line feeding the fire hydrant.
It's gotta be 6-inch or better.
It's
And-
gotta
and-
be 6-inch or better, yeah.
And by code, DEQ, when we replace these lines, we have to put a fire hydrant at every intersection. So we're replacing the old fire hydrants and putting in a bunch of new ones.
With gate valves, I
Yes.
hope.
There's lots of valves. I like valves. Because I like to be able to isolate or we can put a new service and not shut off the whole house. So, yes, all the fire hydrants will have their own isolation valve and there's valves at every intersection. So.
So you're putting an 8-inch main
Mhm.
on Mine Spur, that's gonna be an all 8-inch main, and then you're just gonna neck down to 6-inch for the fire hydrants?
Yes, usually we come off with an 8x6, just it's,
That's
whether
what I
it's
do.
20 feet or depending on what side of the road you're on.
I do that now, so
Yep,
that's, I was just curious.
yep, that's exactly what we do, we come off with the, because the fire hydrants are 6-inch. So we just do an 8x6 key.
Anything else from the council for Jeff? How about the public, if there's anything you're curious about on this, it's gonna be a big project, so. Okay. Anything else for us? I guess we'll just see you down the road.
Yeah, in a month I'll be here, and we'll have some numbers and you guys will, I will say, hopefully things are leveling off and look more encouraging. We opened phase 2 and 3 of the stormwater project in Red Lodge today, this afternoon, and Brandon got 4 bidders. He had a bidder he couldn't open because they didn't fill out the right paperwork. They had 4 bidders, 3 of them are under the engineer's estimate, and we got a pretty decent number, so we're starting to see more bidders and better numbers.
Kind of
Every-
plateau.
Kind of plateaued and now it's leveling off, so we're hopeful that, we just started advertising today and we already have 3 contractors on the plant holders list looking at this project, so we're hoping we'll get quite a bit of interest and some good numbers.
Okay, thanks for the input.
Yeah, thanks, Jeff. And then we'll see you next month, so. All right, well, next line item would be FEMA and DES funds, when it came in and where it's being allocated. Harley, if there's anything you want to add to this end, you can check minutes.
So. We got money for debris removal, emergency protective measures, and management costs. If you look over, we have a reimbursement amount requested. This is what the town requested for reimbursement. So for debris removal, we requested $45,962.36. For protective emergency measures, we asked for $23,169.10. And for management costs, we asked for $46,714.02. The reimbursement share was for the debris removal, $34,471.77, with a state share reimbursement of $11,490.59. For the emergency protective measures, the reimbursement share was $12,234.59. And for management costs, reimbursement Fed share was $35,035.52, with a state share of $10,934.51. So all in total, also with that local or that emergency protective, the local share was $744. So altogether, for the debris removal was $45,962.36. The payment was created and put into the bank account on 1/19/23. For emergency protective measures, it was $12,234.59, and it was put in 6/26/23. And then for management costs of $45,970.03 was put into the account on 12/28/22. This money right now is being allocated. We are finding receipts for all of it. We have to have a receipt that matches our JV to be put back into our system. So that is something that me and Kirsten are currently working on.
Anything from the council on that?
No, thanks for the clarification, I think that kinda helps.
Why did it take so long for you guys to know that money came in?
Well, I was new in the office and I didn't even know the money was going to be there in the first place.
But aren't you the one that signs the checks?
No, these were all electronically put in.
That's when Lucy was the clerk.
Yeah, that was before me. So,
But wasn't Tim still the mayor?
yes.
Well, wouldn't he know? He should have known.
I was gonna say, you should have known, but that's not
My point is,
something
when you
I
get that
know.
kind of money, let the people know. I mean, give us some good news once. That'd be damn good news for us to hear. But you don't give us good news, we just keep getting the bad news.
Hey, I was excited when I figured out it was even there.
Yeah, I mean, you're saying that you found 100,000, but
Yeah.
Tim should have said something about, we got some
A long
money
time
in.
ago,
The school
yes.
should have got theirs right away.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and I do agree with that.
I mean, I guess I just look at, when my clerk sees money coming in, it goes into Black Mountain right away too.
Yeah.
Because the county oversees, so the bank's linked to the Black Mountain. And I mean, she finds it right away. Like, we were reimbursed by the telephone company for $35,000 and she found it right away. And she's like, look at what we got. She called the people and said, why are we getting this reimbursement? And it was an electronic check to us. I mean, so I don't know why you guys aren't catching that stuff in Black Mountain right away. I mean, Brandy catches everything. Like, there's times where she'll text me at night and say, I just caught this in Black Mountain. It's like, why aren't you pulling Black Mountain every day and looking through it, is what I'm saying.
I'm starting to do that now because Kirsten is teaching me that. But before me, I don't think that they ever did that. So that is something that I am doing every day, is making sure that whatever is coming in, every time I take a deposit in and it gets put in and it's on the computer screen, I go back and I reconcile my books right then. So that is something that is being done now, but it was not being done before.
Was Lacey still the clerk at the time that money came in?
Yes, sir.
At that time I asked him about it, he acted like he was surprised it even came in. And he signed the check, he should have known.
He knew.
But yeah, I mean, I'm just,
How come there was so much management cost?
that I can't answer, I wasn't here at the
A
time.
lot of it's all was a lot of volunteer work. The 45,000 in management, who are
So,
we paying?
I can speak to that a little bit for you. FEMA has certain categories, A through F. A is your emergency response, B is debris removal, and those C's like water, sewer, repairs. And at the bottom, they have an administration cost. And it's their catch-all for any costs incurred by the town, like town personnel, town equipment, town anything. And that's just what FEMA categorizes it as. So that's how they break it out. They have a category for streets, roads, like washouts, one for water, sewer, and it's A through F, and I can't name them all for you, but that's their definition of it.
All right, any more public comment?
Nepotism too.
All right, so moving on to the next line item, cell phones, discussion on what they are used for.
Well, I don't know about what they're, I mean, I know what they're used for or whatever, but I guess my question here is we're paying $400 a month for cell phones. When I can get Marcus basically the same phone I got right here, and it's $35 a month.
Okay.
Unlimited text and talk.
It needs to have unlimited hotspot as well.
Well, it needs to have a hotspot.
Okay, so that'll cost you $55.
Yeah.
So basically what we do.
What are you using the hotspot for?
The computer, the laptop, there's no internet over at the shop, so if I need that computer for anything, I gotta hook it up to the hotspot. And the laptop, that I use to read the meters as well.
That's what you're using the hotspot for?
Yeah. I mean, that's all it's used for.
Okay. I'll do some more checking. I didn't realize that part of it, that
Yeah.
you had the hotspot.
We're working, when they come through with that cable, hopefully, we'll get internet at that building and then we won't have to worry about it. Then I don't care if it's got 1 gig of data so I can use Google Maps, or
Right.
whatever.
Right. Okay, that's the other thing. And then the other cell phone, I guess my question is why does Harley have a cell phone?
I can't answer that, it was given to me when I got into the
Well,
position,
the question,
and it
the
just
question, and the reason I bring
stays.
it up is that
It's not used.
to get a hold of the city clerk, you're here on the business hours.
Mhm.
There's no emergency to get a hold of you because you're not the emergency contact. It's either Mark or the mayor or one of the councilmen.
Mhm.
So basically, that's a $200 a month expenditure that we really do not need. Not to mention the fact that I don't know if anybody has your cell number because it's not posted.
Yeah,
Neither of the new council members, and it's 3 months, and you guys should have had that posted.
I will get on that.
It's not okay for people to be calling
So
me
I
from my
guess-
mom's number.
As far as your phone goes, Mark, I need to do some more checking on that. I did not realize on the hotspot.
Yeah.
I thought there was still internet. I thought they had internet put in the building over there.
No.
Okay.
No.
Because I had a hotspot when I was over there too, so
Yeah.
I understand about that. But
Yeah, no, we're hoping to get the internet in there when it comes, that new internet comes through.
It's
I mean, the
not.
CenturyLink's so slow that my other one, the hotspot's way faster. I
What
have
if-
CenturyLink at my house.
So what about Humble Internet? They're gonna hook up to this school, they're putting more towers on top of the high school. It'll be quicker.
They have new
Well,
antennas
well,
that
at
go
this-
through.
What is it?
Humble Internet,
Yeah,
Clarence.
local one.
At this
Local
point,
one.
I think they're $55 a month, you'd be better off having Humble Internet there and having the phone, like Mike said, than you would be paying the $200 or
60,
$400 a month.
60 or
And
70 for
I've
humble.
been in a battle with
Yeah.
Verizon because there's also two
Again,
jet
just doing
packs.
the normal.
that are on the Verizon deal that are broken and can't even be used. I finally got through to them and they had to send me a letter. I have to go get it notarized and then I have to scan it and send it back to Verizon to where I can get onto the account to where I can even do anything on it.
Okay, so are we
those are
under
the same jetpacks
contract?
that I had when I was here.
I almost guarantee we're probably under some sort of contract, so
Are-
I can
are
do
we-
termination fees.
Are we still under
contract
contract?
With the phones, with the cell phones?
I would
What's
guess.
the- What's the contract on there?
All they told me is that we're still under contract and I can't get any information until,
So first step forward to
They-
resolve any of this, we gotta get you
Yeah.
authorized.
Yeah.
She's gotta keep
Yeah.
it so she can get information.
yeah,
Yeah,
cause
okay.
they
Suggest-
won't give me
Okay.
Okay,
anything.
okay.
But we are working on it and I do have the paperwork now, so we should hopefully by the next meeting, I can have more information for you guys on exactly what it is when our contract's up and everything.
Okay.
That's perfect. Thank you.
Alright, so would we like to table further discussion on this too?
Move to table the cell phone conversation till the next.
I'll second
We
it.
have a motion and a second to table discussion on cell phone and rates. Possible resolutions, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion passes. Next line item is water bills and rates.
Okay. So, I had this put on there just because we were hearing some different things, and my wife diligently went back. I don't want to have her go back any further, because she can go back to clear back to 2012, I think, but anyway. She went back to 2017. Oh, she's got a copy for all of you too. About the rates that we're paying for 2,000 gallons. I guess the big thing brought this up was, Harley, you had posted that our rates were,
They were not in our system.
and I guess I don't understand how they weren't in the system, because they've been in the system from way back when, but whatever, regardless.
When,
And I guess my question is where did we come up with the rate system that you set of $45?
it's what's in our resolution.
That's
Or-
in the resolution.
Yeah.
$45 is in the res.
Okay, but as you'll see here, I've been charged anywhere from 45, 47.50,
Yeah.
50, 55, 60.
2002, we were charged $34 for 2,000 gallons. Nope.
See,
What year was that?
so I called,
2002?
so I wasn't here by then. I was not here at all. I wasn't even in the state.
2020.
That was like
22.
So-
You said 2002.
22.
Yeah.
So we have two houses on our property, so that's the bills for it.
So
We're back
when,
to 2018,
so when I called Black Mountain,
so you can
Because-
see what a mess it is. Because we were being charged a minimum of 1,000 gallons, we're paying $47.50. It's supposed to be $50, that's what we've been paying all along, except for these ones that I have highlighted.
so.
I mean, it's a disaster.
When I called Black Mountain and I talked to Black Mountain about our rates, because the last month when I printed bills out, I noticed that a bunch of them were coming out 50 with 2,000 gallon usage. And so I was going back and I'm like, okay, I'm pretty sure that our resolution states that it's $45 per 2,000 gallons. So if you use 2,000 gallons or less, it's $45.
And it's $2.50 a gallon, or 1,000 after.
Yep, $2.50 per 1,000 after. So I called Black Mountain and I was like, hey, what's going on with this? Like, our rates are this, however, our bills are coming out this. I have plenty of users that have used under the 2,000 gallons and they're being charged $50. So the gentleman that I was on the phone with went in and he was like, well, let's check your rates. And I mean, I'm still new to the system. I'm still new to Black Mountain, especially utility billing. And he went through and we had 0 rate codes in our system at all. There was none set. So he went back and we worked together. So he showed me how to do it. And we set it up for 45,000 up to the 2,000 and then 250 after that. Or yeah, 45 for the 2,000 and then 250 per 1,000 after.
We haven't even been read for the last 2 readings.
Yeah, they have.
No, it hasn't, it's 2,000 gallons, and I read my own meters, and I'm sure I'm gonna wind up with 4,000 extra.
Well,
They're not getting read.
I'm just on the computer side. That's not my side.
Yeah.
So now they should be fixed. because the rate codes are in there, so now they're going to be reading correctly. However, since I posted that, a bunch of people have brought up the concerns of them paying the $50 for a long time.
Yeah,
There's gonna be a lot of reconciliation.
back to 2017.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
2016, we were paying $40.25 for 2,000 gallons.
Yeah, and
And that was
so,
when we did that last big project.
Yeah, it happened right after the last big project.
That
That's
was
what
the
I
rate
did.
increase.
We did have a question in the back, did you get it?
That's what I was just gonna
Okay.
say, I checked back to 2016 when it changed, and the rate in 2016 was $40.25 for 2,000 minimum. And then ours went, you can see by the paperwork,
yeah,
for the House 432, jumped to $50 minimum for 2,000. And we've been paying $50 minimum for 2,000, except for where I have it highlighted where we paid $47.50 for 1,000. The year 2022 on the 432 house, we paid $45 for 2,000 gallons. The next month we were charged $50 for 2,000 gallons. There's no rhyme or reason to any of it.
Mine's the same way.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
Well, I'm looking up the school's bill in our teacherage, which is a house. We have one person in it, so I'm looking at our current water bill. We were charged $134. There's no way he's going over 2,000 gallons when he spends all week at the school.
Yeah.
So it's more than our gym bill. So
On a
we either have a
2,000 gallon
leak.
Well, on your 2,000 gallon water usage and stuff like that, with sewer and garbage, everything like that, your bill would be about $134.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
just the water bill.
Yeah.
That
This
will
is-
be,
This is just
that's-
water
129.
charge.
that's
That's-
wa-
it's
that's water, sewer,
129.
garbage.
yeah,
I'm
it's,
just talking
129.
about, on this is just the water charge.
Yeah.
I'm
yeah,
not
but
adding in
it's
sewer and
129 with water, sewer,
Yeah.
and garbage.
Garbage.
Yeah.
At the
Garbage.
2,000 and under,
Yeah.
it's 129.
Unless you're charging them 50.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I mean, when they're 50, it's 134. But like I said, this is just something that I've found,
I've
it
seen you
is
over there,
fixed.
but I'm not getting any
It's
readings
something
on
that the
car.
council needs to,
2,000 gallons is all she's
either-
putting down.
Quick
I had
ones with-
7,000
Hey.
at one time.
I'm just putting in what
Guys.
the-
We can save this for personal business in the office and at least get that rectified and let you know before.
and so what the council, I guess what I would ask the council is that you guys need to either, make a motion that, I have to go back through the books and refund everyone for this, or it's something that we're going to wash and start fresh, and that is up to you guys.
Fair.
That is not something, I mean, it is gonna take me a lot of time to do, just so you guys know.
Well, first of all, I don't think we can wash everything. Because, and second of all, I mean, it does take time and it almost takes somebody, because I know that my daughter had to sit down with